The Bible is alive. Good morning, this is Reverend Bruce Allen. I'm here to tell you the Bible is alive. Thank you for tuning in this little video titled, How Has the Bible Changed Your Life? The Bible changed my life by giving me life. In particular, I was surprised and sort of led to the Bible unexpectedly. More on that later, but first a bit of background information. About 40 years ago, I was a computer programmer for one of the world famous research and development firms, and we were writing programs to simulate things in real life to prevent things from failing or causing disasters. Such things including the spacecraft that were going to be launched into orbit and look at the sun with telescopes. Our job was to make sure they didn't look too closely at the sun and turn to toast. Now that required my learning navigation. My boss, a former Navy guy, gave me a book and I learned navigation. Coincidentally, at the same time, I picked up a book at a department store titled Astrology, God's Gift to Man. So I was doing that in my spare time, and in my work time, I was simply writing programs, but learning more and more about the stars, the whole zodiac. I had to know that to be able to do programming that would be connected to the North Pole of the sky, which is the North Star, as astronomers use for their location. So as I was doing that, I found myself one day in Washington, D.C., having just delivered a report to the United States Air Force there. And in D.C., I was in a nice, expensive, swanky hotel, which in those days was common, as per diem money was great. Looking forward to a dinner. Every night on per diem, I would have roast beef au jus. And this night, I was going to look for some dessert. That dessert would be in the form of a woman, a sinful woman. But just before I went downstairs to the restaurant, for some reason I pulled open the bedstand drawer, and there was a Gideon Bible. I picked it up and I read the book of Job. That's right, the whole book, possibly up to chapter 39. I'm not sure. I put it down, went downstairs, and strangely, I lost all desire for sin for that one night. That didn't last long, but that one night. And I didn't know what's going on. Ate my supper, flew back to Boston. Several months later, I found myself at NASA Goddard in Greenbelt, Maryland. The program we wrote worked perfectly, and the telescopes didn't turn to toast. I walked outside, and I felt like I should be celebrating. Instead, I felt so dead. I looked up to the sky, and there, on an unusually clear night for Greenbelt, Maryland, there was Orion, like staring at me. What's happening? Well, after many months of God dealing with me, learning the reality of the devil as I was someone who had to learn how real he was before I was ready to receive the real Jesus, I watched Billy Graham on TV, had a night of deliverance, went to church, found the four spiritual laws, and as soon as I read, Jesus died for my sin, I believed, and I was born again. Now, as a result, I no longer worship the stars. Oh yes, the Bible verse that God put in my heart before I knew it, and I didn't know what it was till after I was born again, was Job. Job 38:31. Can you loosen Orion's belt? You're worshiping stars, and you can even loosen the belt of Orion, you knucklehead, is what he could have said. But that's what he was saying in his own way. And when I got born again, I thanked him for saying that to me. It led me to Christ. And now, of course, instead of worshiping the stars, I now have a promise in Daniel 12:3, and those who lead many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever and ever. God bless you. I hope that you will realize how alive the Bible is and read it frequently.